I learned this when I traveled to Italy. The best chicken I've ever had. To start our recipe, we're going to make a cut along the side of a chicken breast and open it up completely. I covered it with plastic wrap, pounded it with a kitchen mallet, and got it to the right thickness to continue. In a bowl, I add 1 cup of wheat flour. Now we coat the chicken breast in the flour on both sides. In another bowl, I add 2 eggs, 4 cloves of minced garlic, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of paprika, half a teaspoon of black pepper. To add a special touch, I add parsley to taste. I also add 100 grams of grated Parmesan and mix everything really well. I take the floured chicken breast, dip it into the mixture, and then fry both sides over low heat. And before I forget, tell me what city you're watching from so I can send you a special shout-out. Today's shout-out goes to Rachel Morgan from Denver, Colorado. I'm so glad you're enjoying our recipes. Back to our delicious recipe. In the same pan where we fried the chicken breast, we add half a cup of chicken broth, 2 cloves of minced garlic. For a fresh citrus flavor, I squeeze in 1 lime. Have you ever tried making a recipe like this at home? Let me know. I'd love to hear. I add parsley to taste. And here's the secret to thickening the broth: 1 tablespoon of butter. I mix it slowly to make sure the butter blends in. Meanwhile, the aroma starts getting stronger. I gently place the chicken breast in the center of the pan. Using a kitchen spoon, I spoon the sauce over the top to cover every part with flavor. The broth is already shining beautifully. A few seconds later, I flip the chicken so it can absorb everything from the other side too. I carefully place the chicken breast on a plate. Then, with a kitchen spoon, I spoon a bit of the broth over it. The aroma filled the room, and the texture was exactly what I was aiming for: golden, moist, and juicy. This is the moment when everything comes together. As soon as I took a bite, I could feel how the crispy outside contrasted with the soft inside. It's the kind of dish that surprises you. At home, I hadn't even finished tasting it, and they were already asking me to make it again. When a recipe works this well, you keep it for life.
The new way of cooking chicken breast that's taking the world by storm. I'm gonna start by slicing 2 onions. You're gonna fall in love with the result of this recipe. The flavor is just amazing, trust me. The perfect combo of convenience and taste, straight to your kitchen. I'll put all these onions into a bowl. Now I'll slice 2 tomatoes. It's so easy to make that even someone with no kitchen skills can pull off this delicious dish. With this exclusive method, you're gonna impress everyone at the table. When you try it at home, send me a pic of how it turned out. This recipe is made for those who love simplicity but don't want to give up on flavor. I'll make a layer with these tomato slices here. I'm sure you'll find this super easy to make. We're ready for the next step. I've got 3 chicken breasts here. I'm gonna make some cuts so they can soak in all that flavor. Tell me what city you're watching us from so I can send you a special shout out. Today's shout out goes to Leah Thompson from Austin, Texas. I'm so happy you're enjoying our recipes. In a bowl, I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, a 1/4 cup of olive oil. I'll add 2 chopped cloves of garlic, 1 teaspoon of oregano, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of thyme. I'll mix it all really well until everything is nicely combined. The best part about this recipe is how quick and simple it is. That's why it's become a regular in my house. Now I'm gonna dip the chicken breasts in here. Make sure to coat each side really well, take your time. You're gonna fall in love with this dish that makes every ingredient shine. If you get the ingredient amounts just right, I know it's going to turn out perfect. Just like mine. I'll cover it with plastic wrap and let it marinate for 30 minutes. Bet you're seeing how easy this is. After the time's up, I'm going to make another layer with the chicken. I'm sure this recipe is going to become a classic at your place. It's impossible to make it just once. When you cook chicken at home, what kind of ingredients do you like to add? Using just a few ingredients, you'll discover the real magic lies in simplicity. Now I'm going to bake it at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes. After that, I'll add some sliced mozzarella, as much as you like. I love using mozzarella, so I'm adding plenty. Then back in the oven for another 10 minutes. Once that's done, it's perfect. Now just plate it, slice it up, and enjoy this delicious meal. Few ingredients, but the result? An explosion of flavor.
If you have a can of condensed milk and a can of peaches at home, make this dessert. Everyone will love it. To start this recipe, we're going to open our can and pour half of the peaches into a bowl. You want to separate the fruit from the liquid. Next, we're going to add the peach pieces to a bowl. And then using a mixer, just crush those peaches. So this is the perfect result that we are looking for. Crushed peach is so ideal for our recipe. It's going to be so good. So now add 1 can of condensed milk and let's prepare a perfect dessert that you will want to make over and over again. It's just such a tasty result, so I promise you're going to love this one. Now we're just going to mix again in the mixer. And after mixing everything really well, let's continue the recipe. So set that aside, and then in a bowl, we're going to add 1 cup of very cold whipped cream and just mix really well with the mixer. So at this point, you will have a perfect whipped cream, super whipped and fluffy, and we're simply going to pour the peach mixture into a mold. So pour all of the contents into the whipped cream and just mix everything again. Now, after mixing everything really well, let's continue the recipe. We're going to pour some milk chocolate into the whipped cream. I added 200 grams of milk chocolate. And just stir and mix everything really well until all ingredients disappear. Chocolate is really our special ingredient here. Also, what's great, this dessert will be ready in less than 20 minutes. Now, after mixing everything really well, it's time to go ahead and pop it in the fridge. We're going to pour the cream into a larger bowl. The smell of the peach is so, so wonderful. And if you prefer, you can replace the chocolate with some citrus fruits. That works too. You just want to make sure to spread it really, really well. When you make this at home, your whole family is just going to love this dessert. So spread it on all sides, and this is the result that we are looking for. We're just going to refrigerate this for 5 hours. Now, the colder it is, the tastier it becomes. So as a reward for your patience, our peach ice cream with condensed milk is now ready. Let's go ahead and try it. So serve a generous amount to your family. I'm going to serve this in a glass. This ice cream is super creamy, you can tell. Man, my mouth is watering. I am so excited to try this. So finish with more peach pieces to make it even more delicious, or you could finish with some caramel if you would like that. I'm not going to add any more ingredients because I kind of think it's perfect just as it is, but up to you. You can get creative, and let's go ahead and eat. Enjoy.
When I make chicken breast like this, everyone asks me for the recipe. To start, let's cut 3 chicken breasts. I'm going to make these cuts on the surface, making sure they're not too deep so they can better absorb all the seasonings. Trust me, the result is amazing. Then I'll add 1 teaspoon of salt, spreading it on top. We'll also add half a teaspoon of black pepper, half a teaspoon of paprika, and half a teaspoon of oregano. We'll coat the chicken breasts really well with the seasonings, just like this. I love recipes like this. Simple, but with a different touch. Now in a frying pan, I'll add 1 tablespoon of butter and we'll stir until it melts. I'll place the chicken breasts to fry, and then we'll flip them to make sure they brown evenly. And before I forget, tell me which city you're watching from so I can send you a special shout-out. Today's shout-out goes to Ryan Mitchell from Charleston, West Virginia. I'm really happy that you're enjoying our recipes. Now I'll add 5 cloves of garlic and 2 tablespoons of butter. We'll brown the chicken a little more, and then I'll remove it from the pan. Now we'll mash the garlic cloves with a fork, like this. I'll start to lightly sauté them, and then I'll add 1 chopped onion. I'll keep sautéing until it reaches this texture. Now we'll pour in 1½ cups of chicken broth. I'll also add 1 teaspoon of salt, and we'll stir to combine everything really well. I'll add ½ cup of heavy cream, ½ teaspoon of dried parsley, and the juice of 1 lime, squeezing it by hand. Now, I'll add some parsley to taste, and we'll mix until the texture is nice and smooth. Next, I'll place the chicken breasts back into the mixture. Then, using a spoon, we'll cover the surface of the chicken with the sauce to make sure it absorbs all the flavor. Tell me what you think of the recipe so far. I'd love to know. I'll cover it and let it cook for 10 minutes. After that, we'll coat the chicken with a little more of that delicious sauce. Now I'll remove it and place it on a plate. This recipe became part of my routine almost by accident. I made it once just to try, and the response was instant. The aroma filled the kitchen, the look was impressive, and since then, it's never been left out. Even people who don't usually say much ended up commenting. And I totally get it. It's one of those recipes that doesn't require fancy ingredients or complicated steps. This recipe is ideal for any meal of the day. Make it at home too, and tell me what you think.
Prepare this quick and easy dinner. We're going to start this recipe by grating ½ a head of cabbage. And you're going to want to grate this cabbage into nice thin strips. Once our cabbage is all cut up, we're going to go ahead and season it. Let's add it right into a bowl. We're now going to add in some grated potatoes. This is 2 potatoes. I've already removed the excess liquid from those potatoes. We're also going to need 2 chopped red onions. Add in some cheese, some parsley, and give all of these ingredients a good mix. See how easy it is? After mixing this, we're going to set this aside. In another bowl, add 4 eggs, 100 ml of milk, and mix the egg and milk together. After that's all mixed up, we're going to add in some black pepper, just 1 spoonful, some salt, and add in 6 tablespoons of flour, and mix everything together again. Looking good. We're going to need 1 spoonful of baking powder and another mix. Then we're going to pour this mixture on top of our cabbage and potatoes. Once that's added, we're going to give this another good mix. Let's season with some oregano. This ingredient is optional. And another mix. Add all of these contents right into a pan. Using a spoon, we're going to form some small cabbage dumplings and just gently place them on the oil. Now you can fry in oil or olive oil over medium heat. The taste is so amazing. I absolutely love this recipe. You have to give this one a try at home. We're going to fry these for a few minutes. And once you can see that they're cooked on one side, gently turn them over and we're going to fry the other side. Now it's important to remember to always fry at medium temperature. And our dumplings are almost ready. All right, let's go ahead and remove these from the pan, and it's time to serve. Look how golden brown these are. Now you can serve these with ketchup or any other sauce of your choice. I like to serve these while they're still piping hot and take advantage of that melted cheese. Bon appetit!
No time? This air fryer recipe will save your day. Quick, easy, and delicious. I'll start by adding 2 tablespoons of olive oil to this bowl, half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of paprika, half a teaspoon of oregano, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of black pepper, half a teaspoon of cumin, and half a teaspoon of chili flakes. Then mix everything very well. I'm sure that once you try making chicken this way, you won't want to do it any other way. It's easy, practical, and incredibly delicious. We will need 3 chicken breasts, and I will make shallow cuts like this. And before I forget, tell me where you're watching from, so I can send you a special greeting. Today's greeting goes to Emma Johnson from California, USA. I'm so happy you're enjoying our recipes. Now, we'll coat them well with the seasoning mixture. We'll do the same process with all of them. It's a healthier way to prepare your chicken, free of oil and fat, and it turns out super crispy on the outside and juicy on the inside. Don't miss the chance to try this recipe. You won't regret it. Now let's place the chicken inside the air fryer, which is already preheated. We'll fry it at 360 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 minutes. After this time, we'll open the air fryer, flip the chicken breasts, and let them cook for another 10 minutes. Tell me, what's your favorite chicken recipe to make? I'd love to know. Now, I've plated them. When serving, I'll sprinkle grated Parmesan on top. It will add that special touch to our recipe. Try this at home. You'll love the result. I discovered the trick that changed my life in the kitchen. Now, I only make chicken this way. For this recipe, we'll need 1 frozen chicken breast, and I'm going to grate it using a peeler. Tell me which chicken recipe is the most popular in your home. I'd love to know. Now I'll transfer everything to a bowl. Here we have 2 potatoes, and we'll also grate them using the peeler. And before I forget, tell me what city you're watching us from so I can send you a big hug. Today's hug goes to Daniel Moore from Chicago. I'm so glad you're enjoying our recipes. Once that's done, I'll add them to the same bowl. We'll need 1 onion, and we'll do the same with it. We'll add the onion to the bowl. Now I'm going to grate 200 grams of mozzarella cheese, and we'll put it in the bowl, then add 1 egg, 1 teaspoon of oregano, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, and mix it all together really well. Make this recipe at home and come back to tell me what you thought. I'm sure you and your whole family will love it. In a pan, I'm going to add a bit of oil, 1 tablespoon of butter, and stir until it melts. Once that's done, I'll transfer all the mixture into the pan. And I'll smooth it out with a spoon so it's nice and even. I'll cover and let it cook for 15 minutes. After that, I'll flip it using a plate and put it back in the pan. Cover again and leave it for another 10 minutes. After removing it from the pan and placing it on a plate, I'll sprinkle some parsley on top. It gives that special touch to our recipe. This recipe is absolutely delicious.
These noodles are so delicious that everyone always asks me for the recipe. So here it is. Start with the noodles. We're going to add boiling water to a saucepan. And you want to use very hot water to just make the cooking a little bit easier. Now add 1 teaspoon of salt. We're going to add pasta, 250 grams of pasta. And just let the pasta cook for 10 to 15 minutes. Now we're going to prepare the meat while cooking the noodles. So go ahead and add some oil to a pan. Then add 2 chopped garlic cloves, 1 chopped onion, and just saute these ingredients over medium heat. Now you're going to add 500 grams of ground beef and just saute the meat with your seasoning. Now when the meat begins to change colors like this, it is time to season. So we're going to add 1 tablespoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of black pepper, 1 spoonful of paprika, and now just stir to season that meat. Wow, the meat smells so wonderful. So after sauteing really well, we're going to add the other ingredients. We're going to add 1 chopped green bell pepper, and then half of a red bell pepper, also chopped, 2 chopped tomatoes, half of a chopped yellow bell pepper, and olives. And then just stir everything together again. And when you've sauteed all of the spices, it is almost ready. We're just going to add 300 grams of tomato sauce. You can see how delicious this is. I love the taste of this meat so much. The tip here is to really let it cook for a few minutes. It's going to get so fragrant and flavorful, and then it is ready. So go ahead and turn the heat off and set aside. And now with the noodles ready, we are just going to remove the water and now add the noodles to a large bowl. You want to spread it out well in that bowl and then add the meat sauce on top. Wow, it smells so wonderful. So this is quick, easy, and practical noodles. And then just with the help of 2 forks, you just want to mix all of these ingredients really well. After mixing, our meat and the noodles are almost ready. We're just going to finish with a little bit of Parmesan cheese on top. The cheese just gives the pasta a nice, rich, salty taste. It's definitely worth adding Parmesan or mozzarella. And that's it. Your recipe is ready. Should we go ahead and try it? Serve this on a plate and enjoy. I guarantee you that the taste of this sauce will win your heart. Enjoy.
Everyone's frying flour now after seeing this genius idea. Let's start by adding 700 grams of chicken wings into a large bowl. Next, we're seasoning them with 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 3 tablespoons of mustard, and 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. Now mix everything really well so the wings soak up all that flavor. Now I'm covering the bowl with plastic wrap and popping it in the fridge to marinate for 30 minutes. Meanwhile, in a pan, we'll pour enough oil to cover the bottom. Once the oil is hot, I'm adding 1 tablespoon of butter and stirring until it melts. Now I'm adding half a cup of flour to the pan and giving it a good stir. Time to add our chicken wings to the hot oil. Let them fry until they're nice and golden brown. And before I forget, tell me what city you're watching from so I can give you a big shout out. Today's shout out goes to Rose Angwa Eyita from Uganda. I'm so glad you're enjoying the recipes. I promise once you try it, you won't regret it, and your family will keep asking you to make chicken like this again and again. It's become a total staple in my house. Every time I make it, there's never any left. Look at that golden crust. I've got to show you how amazing these came out. So tell me, how do you usually make chicken at home? I'd love to know your twist. This recipe was such a pleasant surprise. Ever since I learned it, I haven't stopped making it. This chicken turns out crispy on the outside and super juicy on the inside. Absolutely delicious. Hope you're enjoying this one. I'm pretty sure your friends will be asking you for the recipe too.
Wrap the chicken in foil, a genius trick no one teaches. I placed this chicken breast on a sheet of aluminum foil, added some olive oil, and now I'm going to season it with a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper, and a teaspoon of paprika. I'll spread it all out nicely, no rush. All right, now I'll close up the foil. I'm sure this will become a favorite at your house. It's impossible to make it just once. I'll repeat the process with another chicken breast and place both in the air fryer. Now I'll close it and cook at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes. Once it's ready, I'll move them to another bowl and remove the foil. And before I forget, tell me what city you're watching from so I can send you a special shout out. Today's shout out goes to Michael Turner from Austin, Texas. I'm really happy that you're enjoying my recipes. Now I'm going to cut both chicken breasts into small pieces. The smell is already filling up my kitchen. You're going to wow everyone at home. When you make it, send me a picture of how it turns out. This is the kind of dish that turns a simple meal into something unforgettable. I'll add some olive oil to this pan, then toss in a chopped onion. I'll stir until it starts to turn golden, then add 3 chopped garlic cloves. I'll mix it again slowly. The flavor of this dish is absolutely unforgettable. Now I'll add a 1/4 cup of soy sauce, a tablespoon of mustard, and keep stirring. With just a few ingredients and a little time, you'll make something amazing. Perfect for those days when you want to eat well without complicating things. Now I'll pour in a cup of heavy cream and mix it all together again. This special touch will totally change how you see simple recipes. I'll add a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper, and a teaspoon of paprika. Mix one last time. The secret is in how these ingredients come together. If you get the amounts right, it's going to turn out perfect, just like mine. It's so tasty that it'll be gone in no time. I've mixed everything well. Now I'll add the chicken back in. With just a few ingredients, you'll see how true magic lies in simplicity. Tell me what you think. I'd love to hear from you. I bet you're finding it super easy to make. Now I'll cover it and let it cook for 5 minutes. That's it. Just plate it up and enjoy. Look how beautiful this turned out. The chicken looks amazing, exactly how I wanted. Remember, you'll only find these exclusive tips right here with me.
I didn't even know it was possible to make such a delicious potato recipe. So to begin, we're going to start by cutting up 5 potatoes. The tip is to cut them into small slices. So just cut the potatoes into strips of the same size, then add the sliced potatoes to your bowl. I love the taste of this recipe. I crave it all the time. Now, once finished, we're going to set aside to prepare the sauce. For the sauce, we're going to turn on the medium heat and just warm up our saucepan. Now add 70 grams of butter, approximately 2 spoonfuls, and just melt all of the butter well. This white sauce is going to be delicious and just really brings out the flavor of the potatoes. Now add 70 grams of wheat flour. The tip is to just stir constantly until the flour totally dissolves in the butter. And now just add the milk. We're going to add 400 milliliters of milk to make the white sauce. It's important to add it little by little. So just add the milk and stir continuously. Continue the process until you've added all 400 milliliters of the milk. And just stir until the sauce is thicker. This is the texture that we are looking for. So now we're going to add the rest of the ingredients, which are 1 carton of cream. It's 200 grams. Just mix really well until the cream is creamier and a little more liquid. It's super easy to prepare a white sauce, cream to season the potatoes. Now, once you've finished, just season. So we're going to add 1 tablespoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of black pepper, and just mix everything together really well. And that's it. Our wonderful cream is ready. So now we're just going to turn off the heat and pour the cream over our potatoes. There's no need to let it cool. Just pour the cream right over our potatoes. If you've never made this recipe, you need to try it at home. It is so good. Now, before putting the potatoes in the oven, just cover them with aluminum foil and bake at 220 degrees for 40 minutes. Now, after this time, take the potatoes out of the oven, remove the foil. They smell so wonderful. Now we're going to add mozzarella cheese on top of our potatoes. Just like that. Now put them back in the oven for another 15 minutes. And that's it. Our recipe is ready. So we're going to finish with some parsley on top. This ingredient is optional, but I do highly recommend. I love the taste of sausage with cheese and potatoes. You can just add it on top. And shall we try it? I'm going to cut a very generous piece because I'm pretty hungry. The taste is so divine. So make this on your own and get ready to receive lots of compliments. My mouth is watering. This recipe goes so well with meat and chicken. I am so hungry and the smell is making my mouth water, so I'm going to dig in. Enjoy.
The first time I made this recipe, everyone was so amazed because it only takes 4 ingredients. Let's start off by adding 4 eggs into a bowl. We're also going to need 3 tablespoons of butter. Go ahead and add everything in. Then we'll want to mix all these ingredients until they're thoroughly combined. Now, if you've never seen this recipe before, you've got to give it a try at home. It only takes a few ingredients and your whole family is just going to love it. Make this dessert and just be prepared to receive a ton of compliments. This dessert is super versatile and it can be served on hot days or cold days. It fits in any shape and everyone just loves it. Alright, after mixing, you'll see that you'll have some butter pieces, but they'll disappear once you bake it and your dessert's in the oven. Let's go ahead and add in 800 grams of condensed milk. Just add that in with the eggs and butter. I'm telling you, this dessert is so incredible. You are never going to be dessertless at home because you're going to want to make this all the time. Plus, it's quick, easy, and just so fun to put together. I love sweet recipes like this. You'll need about 2 hours to finish this dessert. but it is super easy. All right, after dissolving the butter and the condensed milk, it's almost ready to go. This next step is super easy. I'm going to go ahead and take 300 grams of grated coconut and add it into the bowl. And let's go ahead and give that another mix together. Looking good. Grated coconut is our special ingredient in this recipe. This step needs to be done with the whisk and cannot be done with a mixer. Go ahead and remove the whisk, and we're going to add that cream to a buttered pan. Pour and spread it out well. I am already drooling. I can't wait to eat this. Now we're just going to go ahead and bake this in the oven for 35 minutes at 320 degrees. And voila, our dessert is ready. I guarantee you've never had such a delicious dessert. Now, if you prefer, you can serve this hot and have it with ice cream. That would be amazing. But I let it cool because I like to eat this cold. This dessert has a crispy crust, but it's super tasty and moist inside. Let's give it a try. If you like cold desserts, refrigerate this for a few hours and it's going to be great. Let's check to see how this looks. You can see how crispy it is on top, but so soft inside. When I made this recipe at home for the first time, everyone just fell in love with it. Serve it cold with juice or tea, and that would be so perfect, but it's time to eat. I hope you enjoy this perfect dessert.
This is probably the best chicken breast I have ever made. I'll start by cutting a chicken breast in half. I made this preparation very detailed so you can achieve an amazing result in the kitchen. Then, I'll place plastic wrap on top so I can pound it with a meat mallet. Pound it well. You'll see how worth it is to make a recipe like this for dinner. I'll add wheat flour to this bowl here. Now, I'll coat the entire chicken, making sure to cover all sides properly. Tell me from which city you're watching us so I can send you a special greeting. Today's greeting goes to Michael Johnson from New York. I'm happy that you're enjoying our recipes. In a bowl, I'll add 2 eggs, 1 teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper, 3 cloves of garlic chopped, parsley to taste, half a cup of grated Parmesan cheese. I'll mix everything well until all the ingredients are perfectly combined. It should have this texture, perfect for the next step. Now, I'll take the chicken breast that I coated and dip it into the mixture. It's really easy to make. If you have any doubts, just follow what I'm doing. It will turn out perfect. Simple, quick, and irresistible. This recipe is perfect for any occasion. Try it at home and let me know what you think. Now it's ready for the next step. I'll add 2 tablespoons of butter. Stir well as it melts. You'll be amazed at how easy it is to create something so delicious and special. Now, it's time to fry it. This is one of those recipes that you make once and never forget. So tasty and practical. When it reaches this golden color, it's perfect. In the same pan, I'll add 1 cup of chicken broth, 2 cloves of garlic chopped, 2 tablespoons of lime juice, parsley to taste, 1 tablespoon of butter. Stir well while it cooks. You'll notice the color changes to this beautiful shade. Now, place the chicken in the pan to cook in the sauce. Turn it over so the mixture gets fully absorbed by the chicken. I have to confess, the smell of this dish is incredible. Surprise your family with a wonderful dinner by preparing this amazing recipe. Now, just transfer it to a plate, cut it, and taste this delight. Look at this fantastic appearance. It's perfect. If you look closely, the texture is also very tender. If you're looking for flavor, convenience, and speed, you've just found the best recipe on the internet. This chicken is totally worth making for dinner. It's perfect for gathering the family. If you like this preparation method, you're going to love my next tips. I still have many other secret recipes to share, so stay tuned and don't miss anything.
I should have learned this sooner. A genius trick I picked up from an Italian. For today's recipe, I'm gonna slice 1 chicken breast in half, just like this, without cutting it all the way through. Then I'll cover it with plastic wrap and tenderize it real good with a meat mallet. Oh, and before I forget, tell me which city you're watching from so I can send you a special shout-out. Today's shout-out goes to Weston Pierce from Georgia. I'm really happy you're enjoying our recipes. After that, I'll remove the plastic and cover it with a pot lid. Now I'll trim the edges of the chicken that are sticking out from the lid, just like that. I'll transfer the chicken to a plate with wheat flour. Make sure it's well coated. Now in a bowl, I'll crack 3 eggs. Add a teaspoon of salt and half a teaspoon of black pepper. Mix it all really well. Then I'll add half a cup of Parmesan and 3 minced garlic cloves. Keep whisking everything nicely. I'll throw in some parsley to taste. Any idea how today's recipe is going to turn out? Now I'll dip the chicken we prepped earlier into the mixture. Time to coat it all over again. Next, I'm melting a tablespoon of butter in a pan. Spread it all around. Once hot, in goes the chicken. I'll place it nicely and let it cook till golden. Then I'll flip the chicken to cook the other side too. Once it's ready, I'll set it aside for later. In the same pan, I'll pour in 1 cup of chicken broth, 3 minced garlic cloves, the juice of half a lime, and some parsley to taste. Mix it all real well. Have you ever made a recipe like this? Send it my way. I'd love to try it at home. Then I'll add 1 tablespoon of butter again. Give everything another good mix. Now I'll bring the chicken back into the pan and coat it with that flavorful mix. Make this dish today and send me how it turned out. I'd love to know you enjoyed it. Now I'll take the chicken out of the pan and plate it. This recipe is so quick and easy, saves me tons of time during the week. To finish, I'll spoon some of that sauce over the top of the chicken. Just look how gorgeous this meal is turning out. I can't wait to dig in when it's done. It's looking absolutely irresistible. My grandmother taught me how to make this dish, the most delicious potato recipe for dinner. To start, I'm going to slice 2 potatoes. I love recipes like this, simple and easy to make, yet they always have that special touch that surprises anyone who tries them. Next, in a frying pan, we'll add a drizzle of olive oil. Then, I'll place the potato slices side by side like this. And before I forget, tell me which city you're watching from so I can send you a special hug. Today's hug goes to Charlotte Anderson from Chicago, Illinois. I'm really happy that you're enjoying our recipes. Now I'll add 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of paprika, and half a teaspoon of black pepper. Then we'll sauté the potatoes until they're lightly golden. Every time I reach this point, I remember that cooking isn't just about technique. It's also about the joy of turning simple ingredients into something special. Now I'm going to slice 1 tomato and then cut it into small cubes. Every time I make this recipe, I realize how much the final result depends on this step. It's here that we get the perfect texture and a beautiful finish. Then, in a bowl, we'll add 4 eggs, some chive to taste, and the chopped tomato. We'll mix everything well until all the ingredients are combined. Have you ever tried making a recipe like this at home? Tell me. I'd love to know. Next, I'll add half a cup of heavy cream, and we'll keep stirring. Now, I'll add 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of paprika, and half a teaspoon of black pepper. I'll mix a little more until I get this smooth consistency. After that, we'll pour the mixture over the potatoes, spreading it evenly to cover everything. This step may seem simple, but it's what guarantees the perfect result. Then, I'll cover it and let it cook for 10 minutes. Now we'll flip our recipe onto a plate and place it back in the pan to brown the other side as well. Next, we'll add some grated mozzarella on top to taste. Tell me what you think of the recipe so far. I'd love to know. I'll cover it again and let it cook for another 5 minutes or until the cheese melts. After that, I'll remove it from the heat and place this delicious potato omelet on a plate. I like recipes like this because they deliver exactly what they promise. No complicated steps, no hard-to-find ingredients. And yet, the result stands out. The aroma and flavor are amazing. I've made it several times, and all my friends and family love it. Make it at home and tell me what you think.
This cabbage is tastier than meat. We're going to start the recipe by adding half of a chopped cabbage into a pot. And we want to cover that cabbage with some boiling water. After you add that boiling water, we're going to turn the heat on high, and we want to cook this cabbage for about 10 minutes. All right, it's been 10 minutes. Our cabbage is perfect. Now we just want to go ahead and drain that water using a sieve or a strainer. And just using a spatula or a spoon, you just want to squeeze that cabbage to remove as much water as possible. And now we're going to set this aside to cool. In a pan, add a small amount of oil, and then we're going to add in 2 chopped onions. And we want to saute these onions until they are nice and soft and a golden brown color. When your onions change color, it is time to add the rest of our ingredients. We can go ahead and turn the heat off. We are going to add these onions into a bowl. Do it nice and carefully because these are really hot. We're also going to add in our cooked cabbage from earlier. Go ahead and give everything a good mix together until it's well combined. And then we're going to add the rest of our ingredients. So let's start off with 3 eggs. We're going to need some green onions to taste. Now let's go ahead and season. I'm going to start with a tablespoon of salt, a spoonful of paprika, a spoonful of black pepper. We're also going to add about 4 tablespoons of flour and just add it right in, just like this. That's looking so good. And now let's go ahead and mix everything together until all of the ingredients are well combined. All right, after mixing, we should have a consistent mixture. And the next step is frying. So with the spoon, just take a small amount of your batter. And we are going to make small dumplings, or honestly, whatever size you prefer would be great. And we're going to fry them in some olive oil. That's what I've got in my pan. So go ahead and just gently place them on your pan to fry. And that is it. Now we just need to wait for them to fry on one side. We're going to let these fry for approximately 5 to 7 minutes. All right, it's been a few minutes. Go ahead and turn those dumplings over just using a spatula. And we're going to fry again on the other side for a few more minutes. All right, after frying, these are ready to go. We can now just turn off our heat. We're going to remove those cabbage dumplings from our pan. This recipe is perfect to serve with rice and meat, but now we have to give these a taste. I'm telling you, the flavor of this recipe is incredible and it's so easy to come together. Make it for lunch or dinner. I know your family is going to love this recipe so much. My mouth always waters when I make this recipe. Give it a try. Enjoy.
Next time you make breakfast, try this recipe I learned from a friend in Italy. I'm going to start by adding 3 eggs here into this bowl, 1 teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper. Now I'm going to mix everything really well. No rush. These ingredients give it such a special flavor in the end. You're going to love it. And before I forget, tell me which city you're watching from so I can send you a special shout out. Today's shout out goes to Brandon Miller from Austin, Texas. I'm really happy you're enjoying the recipes. It's so easy to make that even someone with no kitchen experience can prepare this delicious dish. Perfect for those days when you want to eat well without complicating things. And remember, the tips I'm showing you here are exclusive to this page. I'm explaining everything in detail, so it'll be easy when you make it yourself. I'm adding 6 slices of bread here into this greased pan. Make sure to keep the heat low. That makes the result even better. Now I'm pouring the mixed ingredients right on top. Just spread it evenly. Look how nice this is going to turn out. I'll cover it and let it cook for 5 minutes. After that, I'm going to use a plate to flip it and cook the other side. Now, I'm adding 2 tablespoons of ketchup. Spread it well, just like this. This recipe is perfect for anyone who loves practicality without giving up flavor. If you like simple tips like this, stay tuned. There's a lot more coming. I made this yesterday for my friends and they loved it so much they begged me to come here and teach it to you. I also chopped half an onion to add. Go ahead and spread it out. With this method, there's no way to go wrong. Just follow along with me. I bet you're finding it super easy to make. You probably even have all these ingredients sitting right there in your kitchen. I'm also adding half a chopped tomato. These ingredients together create an explosion of flavor. It's the kind of dish that transforms a simple meal into something unforgettable. I'm adding parsley to boost the flavor even more. Look at that. It's going to turn out perfect, I'm sure of it. Now I'm adding 4 slices of mozzarella. I'll cover it again and let it cook for another 5 minutes, always keeping the heat low. Look at this, the visual alone is amazing. The smell is already taking over my whole kitchen. It's such a different way to use bread. Tell me this doesn't make you want to try it just by looking at it. After transferring it to another dish, you can go ahead and slice it. It's so delicious it'll probably disappear fast in your house. The ingredients are full of flavor and have great health benefits. A tasty and nutritious recipe. Now that you've learned it, just make it at home the same way. It's a great option to bring the family together. The soft texture makes all the difference. Look at that. The perfect combination of practicality and flavor, right in your kitchen.
This is the best chicken I've ever had. To start our recipe, take a large chicken breast and slice it in half. Just like this. Once you have it all opened up, we're gonna slice again, just some small shallow cuts. This will just help integrate all of our seasoning. Now cover with some plastic wrap and taking a meat mallet, gently pound that meat just so it tenderizes it. When your chicken is nice and soft, let's start our seasonings. In a bowl, add 1 cup of flour. Then coat that chicken in the flour. Make sure the entire piece of chicken is totally covered in flour. Just like this. In another bowl, add in 2 eggs, 3 chopped garlic cloves. We need 1 tablespoon of salt, a tablespoon of paprika, a tablespoon of black pepper, and let's add in some parsley to taste, along with 50 grams of Parmesan cheese. Stir and mix all those ingredients really well, and this is going to be our chicken seasoning. Next, take that chicken and coat it in the seasoned eggs we just prepared. Spread the seasonings evenly on both sides of that chicken. And now it is time to fry this. So I've got a hot pan. I've added some butter in here. It's all melted. Add the chicken and fry it over a medium heat. And when one side is fried, just flip it and repeat the process on the other side. Fry it for a few more minutes. Once that's fried on the other side, remove the chicken and just set it aside on a plate. In that exact same pan, add 150 mils of chicken or vegetable broth, along with 3 chopped garlic cloves, some parsley, and the juice of half a lemon. We're also going to need 1 tablespoon of butter. And cook the broth, the seasonings, and the butter until we have a nice, delicious sauce. This chicken sauce is going to make our recipe so perfect. Next, take that chicken and add it to that sauce we just made. Cook for 5 minutes until that sauce thickens. Now, if you prefer, you can flip the chicken just so we get it covered on both sides. The more seasoning our chicken has, the tastier it's going to be. And there you have it. Our sauce is almost ready. Remove the chicken from the pan using a spatula. Serve it on a plate and you can call your family to try it. Do not forget to pour the sauce on top. You can serve it with some rice. That would be so delicious. But let's give this a try. well-seasoned and super tender chicken. I hope you give this a try. Enjoy your meal. Even those who don't like chicken are going to love this recipe, so you've got to give it a try. So we're going to start by taking 3 large chicken breasts and just score them with a knife like this. I'm making some diagonal slits, and now we're going to go ahead and prepare our seasoning. So in our bowl here, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil, along with a 1/4 cup of soy sauce. Let's add a little bit of salt and some black pepper. I'm also going to season with some oregano and some rosemary for a delicious flavor. We're going to need 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, along with 2 garlic cloves that I've just minced in advance. Let's give that a good stir and mix until a delicious sauce is formed. Now this is going to be our seasoning and sauce for our chicken. You've got to try this recipe at home. It is incredibly flavorful. Okay, now that our sauce has come together, we got our chicken here. We're just going to add that right into the bowl with that sauce. I'm going to start with cut side down and then flip it over so the entire chicken breast is fully coated. And we're going to repeat this process with the rest of the chicken. I just love the taste of this chicken. It's incredibly delicious. It's perfect, really. And your family's going to love it too. Now we're just going to let this sit in the sauce for about 30 minutes because we want this chicken to be super flavorful. In a large baking dish, add 2 large chopped onions. So delicious. I love onion. We're also going to add in some tomatoes. Just add the tomatoes right on top of the onion like this. This is looking delicious. And we are going to prepare this all while our chicken is still marinating. Spread the tomatoes out well. All right, our chicken has been marinating for a while. It's time to add it now. And we're going to add the pieces on top. This chicken's been sitting in the sauce for about half an hour. The flavor of this chicken is incredible. I love it so much. Let's bake this in a 350-degree oven for 20 minutes. All right, it's been 20 minutes. I'm now going to add some grated mozzarella cheese on top. Now you can add any other type of cheese that you prefer. Once we add the cheese, we're going to bake it for another 10 minutes just so our cheese can brown and get nice and melted. All right, our chicken is ready. Our cheese is melted. It is time to give this a taste. Look how absolutely delicious this is. We've got our vegetables in there. That cheese is incredible. I am in love with this chicken recipe. And it just smells heavenly. You've got to give this a try at home and enjoy this delicious chicken. Bon appetit!